Good morning. So I posted yesterday regarding emotional eating, and I had a few people reach out to me, and I thought I would share a little bit about what that discussion looked like. Um, I guess first things first is you need to really ask yourself what specifically is going on, right? What are these thoughts about eating or this idea of needing to eat? Like, where is it coming from? What's going on, right? So I'm not sure if you're aware of the fact that most of this is lower brain activity, right? It's habitually created. These responses are habitually created for us to respond to stress, right? So that means turning to food, turning to binging, overeating, whatever it is. It's been a wiring process. So we have now wired our brains to respond this way to certain life situations, to stress. Maybe this programming exists as a coping mechanism, right? Maybe that coping mechanism was established so you could avoid feeling certain feelings, maybe feeling upset or lonely or bored. You just created a habit, a pattern, a wiring in the brain that took you to food for comfort instead of dealing with those things. So sometimes that feeling may even be so powerful that you sense or feel that you truly need this food, because that lower brain message is intending to keep the habit because it is served you, right? It has served you for this long. It has served you for a certain amount of time. It has helped you avoid. It has been your coping mechanism. So you are wired that way. So these indulging, encouraging thoughts may look different, but they're all actually coming from faulty brain wiring. So you have thoughts, many different thoughts. Some may look like they're really genuine and so these thoughts can be really convincing, like, oh, I've had such a long day, like you deserve to indulge, you just deserve it, like you deserve to relax and just enjoy that food, it's comforting. Right now with this isolation, like you're so lonely, right? These lonely feelings, like you deserve this, like your brain is going to be communicating that to you, like you deserve to just relax and just let it all go, enjoy this comfort food in this time. All the messages, they're going to come at you from so many different angles, right? It's like, oh, like you're so bored, you might as well indulge or play or get creative and do this or that. But the reality is none of these thoughts are actually justifiable. So they are just that. They are thoughts. They do not create your reality. You do not need to give into them. These thoughts have just become automatic, right? They're part of the thought habits that may have existed for you for a really long time, depending, right? But if you've been struggling with binge eating or overindulging or whatever it might be, boredom or emotional eating, they've probably existed for you for a really long time, but you don't need to continue to give into them. Right? So if you think about this time right now, we're isolated, we're supposed to be staying home. You probably have a strong desire to like get together with a group of friends. Like, let's have a little party, let's have a little barbecue, like, let's do this. And that's a thought, that's a genuine thought. You haven't continually wired your brain to give into that thought. So you're able to be like, oh, no, that's not good. Like, that would be endangering myself or other people. So I'm not going to do that. So you can rationalize with that because you haven't created faulty wiring and created a pattern that makes it difficult to deal with. So just know that you don't have to buy into these thoughts, that indulging or binging is going to offer you a solution, right? You don't need to buy into these. So what's some practical things that you can do? I would say, number one, call yourself out. So you're heading into the fridge or the cupboard and you're going to indulge or, whatever it is. Ask yourself, like, what is it that's going on right now? Like, what am I feeling? Am I truly hungry? Like, am I really desiring food because I physically am hungry? Or is this another one of those coping mechanisms where maybe you're experiencing feelings that are making you a little uncomfortable, whether that's lonely, sad, fearful, bored, right? Like, it's really uncomfortable for some people to be bored, to just sit in that space. But I challenge you to just take the time to experience what it is that you're truly feeling. Like, get connected to your feelings. This is the opportunity. Another great thing to do is replace it with a better choice. So maybe you add a sticky note onto the side of the fridge or the cupboard or wherever it is that you tend to go to that reminds you of what it is that you've committed to. So if you've made a choice to say, I'm going to replace this habit, this wiring, I'm going to try to rewire my brain. So I'm going to replace it with a new habit. I'm going to choose to maybe run up and down the stairs. Maybe I'm going to go drink some water and journal. Maybe I'm going to sit and do a meditation. Maybe I'm going to find something else that allows me to get connected or that brings joy into my life, right? So take a look, ask yourself, what can you replace it with? What is a good habit, a good beneficial, joyful thing that you can do instead? This will definitely help. And it's super important to know that it is okay to be honest and enlist a friend, enlist support, get help, whatever it is. If you truly struggle with it, this is a pattern that's been created over a long period of time. And in order to change that, you're going to need some support. And that is okay. It's okay to rely on one another to help each other out. Whether you enlist in support, that you get a food addiction counselor, or whether or not you just enlist in a friend that can be there for you or a family member, whatever it is, like, don't be afraid to ask for help, right? You've got this. You can do this. You just need to be able to recognize and separate yourself from these thoughts, from these patterns, from these old behaviors. Hope that helps. And if you need anything, give me a shout, shoot me a message.